All right, so I'm Kevin. I like music. I like movies. If you ever come to see a movie with me, I will make you sit through the credits and enjoy whatever is playing, especially action movies when the credits are very intense. That's just kind of how I roll. But I guess I will go ahead, since this is up, I'll skip to this guy right here. I'm going to have you watch this and just keep it in your head for a minute. This is the difference between a major and minor scale, key, tone, whatever you want to call it.
裝開心嘅感覺，全部都係 major chord 嘅，咁俾你聽下先。
So he's going to play the major key, regular down birthday.
嗱，咁呢個係一個 waltz 一個三拍嘅生日歌啦。
Who can be sad about that? You're probably having cake, getting some presents, hanging out with your buddies. There's the minor key version.
咁聽你個感覺一定會開心啦。嗱，咁我先行得唔錯。 So the difference is pretty dramatic.
You set the mood for the minor one, but not the major one.
Yeah, same notes.
So that's another thing too. It's not just what notes you're actually hitting; it's how you play the notes you're hitting.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it. So let's pop this party open, get things started. All right. So how do you get emotion from music? At the very, very, very basic level, we're very good kind of picking out body language. You know, somebody droopy eyes, they look very tired, they look sad, they're frowning, they're really chipper, they've got a big smile on their face, they're talking really fast and they're very excited, or they're talking very slowly. At the basic level, we kind of get emotion from sound, replicating the sounds a human would make. If somebody's crying, you can kind of take that in a violin and make something very similar, play it kind of slow and sad and have it wailing. You know, if you have music that's going very fast, has trumpets, it's like shouting and laughter. You can get happy music that way. And we pair this up with pictures and movies to get kind of the whole experience put together. So I just showed you the major and the minor key, and that's actually sort of a Western thing. That's a little on the cultural side. Middle Eastern, very traditional Middle Eastern music can be minor key, and it's not necessarily sad. This is true in a couple of different European styles of music. All over the world kind of varies. But at the same time, there's been some research done about people speaking excitedly or speaking slowly, kind of sad. They're a little downtrodden, and everyone that the researchers talk to can pick up on that. They're aware of what's happening, and it's true for English speakers, Mandarin Chinese speakers. They found that was true, and that translates into the music. Even if it's in minor key, you can make a happy minor key song. You can make a sad major. On that subject, jumping back to my next video. It's Benjamin Zander guy, back on TED. Kind of shows you how composers know the major and minor key difference. They can sort of play around with you and get you to react to the music the way they want you to. Assuming this video will function properly.
Might actually drift off. Say what?
Ted's,
What's really going on here? We have a B. This is a B. The next note is a C. And the job of the C is to make the B sad. And it does, doesn't it? Composers know that. If they want sad music, they just play those two notes. So basically, it's just a B with four sads. Now it goes down to A. And now to G. And then to F. So we have B, A, G, F. And if we have B, A, G, F, what do we expect next? Oh, that might have been a fluke. Let's try it again. Ooh, the Ted choir. And you notice nobody has toned that. Is that right? Nobody's, every village in Bangladesh and every hamlet in China, everybody knows. Da, 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 da. Everybody knows who's expecting that E. Now Chopin didn't want to reach the E there.
So also kind of part of the reason we did Bobby McFerrin earlier. Everybody gets that, the kind of flow of music. It's universal.
It only applies to folk music, though.
So why
Okay,
music?
I'm not a musician, also I forgot to make this disclaimer at all, so thank you. I have no idea what you mean by that, this is the extent to which I say I'm not a musician. But getting back to I'm bad at computers, here we go. So, you have just sort of these grand overarching ways to make music out of emotion. And then from there, how fast you're playing your music, the speed is the difference between a sad violin and very happy fiddle. It's, you can't really make I guess I mentioned speaking slowly versus speaking quickly. It's that relation. Instrumentation, what instruments you're using. The violin is a very good way to recreate a human voice, but to me, a violin generally recreates a kind of sad human voice. A lot of it is personal, and a lot of it is what you've been trained to hear. More on that. So, a couple of examples to start you out. The first one is Samuel Barber's Adagio for Strings. In a 2004 BBC poll was voted the saddest piece of classical music in existence. Songs that I find are a singular, pure emotion in them. Sadness, Adagio for Strings. Very kind of slow, just strings. They played this at Albert Einstein's funeral, at FDR's funeral. If you look it up on YouTube, the first thing you're going to find is a performance by the BBC Orchestra post 9/11, 2 days after the attacks. It's a very sad song. The next one you may recognize from Inception. To me, it almost sounds like audible dread.
That's very Christopher Nolan.
That's actually, that's a brilliant idea. That would have been very funny. Next one, kind of, to me, it's victorious. It's kind of something you hear. There's some uplifting horns going on. It's happy. I get 2 sad ones. It starts out, picks up, lifts you up a little bit. Some strings going up instead of going down. From movies, I'm just kind of toying. The last one, Arise is the title of the song. I honestly couldn't think of a better word for it. What you're seeing at the bottom of the screen is what I saw in Audacity, just the intensity of the song as it goes on over time. And I'm going to start the clip from here. This is the longest clip I have. I'm just going to let it play as I talk. You start out a little smaller and just kind of builds and builds. Before this, it was much quieter. There were just strings going. You didn't have the beat going in the back yet. It just keeps going up and up and up. I love listening to this going home from the ED at 3 in the morning after I finish my day. And I'm all my homework mostly done. But it feels good. It's like I've conquered it, I'm done, it's on to the next one. This is by a band called PS Postures. One of their songs you out in the theater in the next month or so before it comes out, you see Charlie and Travis and these guys. And a couple other songs. This is my favorite song. Finish softly, but decisive. So that one was just kind of me force some music that I love with you guys. I would love to see that in a movie one day. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, I just got all of you. All right.
Except for
Oh,
me.
whoa, that went way too far. I hit down. Oh dear. All right. Conditioning. Let's get Harry Potter's back. Like I mentioned, conditioning, Pavlov's dog. Why does this music work the way it does? You know, at the very basic level, you have emotions, but then how do you get these very complex ideas like victory into your music? Part of that is by having people watch a lot of movies and hearing the same similar style of music to the same scene over and over and over again. So we've all, how many, 8 Harry Potter movies?
Yeah.
This song in some form works its way into all of them. So when I hear it, it's kind of whimsical. It's just a little bit of a timpani going. I don't even, anyone know what instrument this is exactly?
Xylophone, I think?
It's
Yeah,
the
I would say
bells.
xylophone or
What is it?
It's the bells.
Bells?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's like a very small xylophone.
Oh, okay.
Actually, they're not made out of wood metal.
Okay.
It's metal.
Thank you. So that, you know, it's kind of whimsical. I associate that with just magic now. I hear that and I think I'm going to go pull out my wand and ruin all your days. So we're going to play a little game now. I'm going to play a song, and I want you guys to just kind of blurt out either some words you might hear in the title of the song, or maybe a movie title where you might hear this kind of song, a description of the scene it might be in.
Death.
Very good. Riding a bike. Toy Story. Every Western you've ever seen. That's a good one. Like Phoenix taking off flight. That is a good word. This is Adventure of a Lifetime within this song. I'm not sure it's ever been. I'm not sure it's ever been in a movie. Again, it's by one of these kind of movie production companies I just like to listen to. You know, it does feel like flight. When I hear this, I kind of think the flyover scene of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Adventure is the perfect word for it. Again, this is one of the more complicated ideas that you don't necessarily get straight from the emotion. You know, it's an upbeat song, it's very fast, it's happy. Yeah, the adventures. The idea of adventures that you get from watching these movies time and again. All right, round 2. This one's actually from a movie, so you might get it really fast.
So it's like a Fast and Furious song or something.
You're gonna say like Charlie's Angels.
I'm trying to hear you guys.
It's definitely a spy.
That is the exact word. The song is called Spy Ring. It was in The Matrix, in the lobby shootout scene. It's by a band called Powerheads, who did an entire album of music like this. It's all kind of electronic spy music. You put a James Bond in straight to.
This would be in like gold.
All right, round 2. Second page, round 1. We're gonna do it the other way now. I'm gonna show you an image, and I'm gonna have somebody pick on them what hum like a tune you hear when you see the image. So, number one.
Oh geez, I don't remember this song.
Yeah, how many of you
It's in
have
Fantasia.
seen that? It's pretty honest.
It's awesome. But
I know Tom did it earlier, so I might just make him do it. All right, so you all immediately are like, oh yeah, it's that song. You kind of hear it. It's been a while.
It's like a march, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a little more specific than the last round, but you've been conditioned. You've seen these movies. The music and the image go right together. It's the way it was meant to be. Number two. You've probably seen this image a little more than you've seen in The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Sorcerer's Apprentice is a good song, but let's not talk about this.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's all I think.
freaking out. Kate's freaking out. It's like 5 minutes.
Oh.
Just clips of her screaming.
I love Nick Cage. All the bad movies he's ever been in, I forgive him completely.
Epic.
If I had candy, I would throw it at people for this, but I don't have candy. Alright,
That's a pretty epic song.
Yeah.
huh?
The whole song.
Oh, Requiem.
It's funny because I didn't pull that from the original song. Anyway, how to get conditioned. You hear the same things over and over. You come to expect certain images, or vice versa. You see the same images, you come to expect the same song. A fancy word I learned, and it's definitely my word of the week, leitmotif, is the specific word for a recurring musical theme. It's really just a motif that happens to be musical. Vocabulary lesson for the day. So, movies that immediately come to my mind when I think the same song over and over. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dragon for a Dream. Pirates of the Caribbean, the version here, kind of the main theme, if you will. Yeah, again, it's a very adventurous song. It's uplifting. Who wants to go sail on an ocean and find some treasure? Exactly. There's this whole series of movies. It's all about being an adventurous pirate, and they play the same song time and again. Then they switch it up on you. They do the whole thing where they're playing with major and minor key, what instruments they're using, how fast it goes, and you get different results from that.
The only two I could sing that whole thing played a marching show doing this.
So here again, it's still pretty upbeat. It's kind of sneaky, a little jovial, maybe. I don't know. You can go the other way too. Draw it out really far, slow. Not quite sad, but somber maybe. If I remember right, the scene was kind of everybody's tired. They just, I don't know, they finished something. Somebody died, that's it.
It sounds.
So you get the same song, but you change it up, you get a lot of different variations out of it. You can use it for any part of the movie you need. And Wikipedia tells me the first OST, just for the first movie, it was a rush job. Like Hans Zimmer and Klaus Pelde, I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but they pretty much did it like in a few weeks. They got 7 or so composers in on it, and they rushed it out. So, from a logistics standpoint, it makes sense to kind of use the same song over and over. It's easy to compose to that. Then there's Requiem for a Dream. Show of hands, how many of you have seen that? All right. What a downer.
Really sad.
And maybe it's just me, I don't quite have the ear for it, but it's the same song. They barely change it. They use it time and again. Every time something goes wrong, they play it. Every time something goes wrong, they play it again. If something gets even worse than the last time it went wrong, they play it again.
Oh yeah.
And then you still don't think it can get any more wrong, and the movie, things get more wrong for every character in the movie, and they play it again. And by the end of the movie, it's just this one song. It is overwhelmingly sad, and you, poor guys.
Yep, I think so. Something like that.
I think Crystal Method did the original movies. I know there's an electronic version of it.
It's in trailers, though.
Yeah, this song it's pretty popular. Once you've been conditioned, yeah. Me and my Heather music, I love it.
Yeah.
So when I played Hedwig's theme before, I didn't say anything, I didn't put the word conditioning up there. You probably all were like, oh, it's Harry Potter, yay. I don't know, another personal story here. I played Halo 3 a lot in high school. A buddy of mine hadn't played it, at all through college. Heard a song come onto my Pandora. I'm like, oh yeah, Halo, that sounds cool. Went back, listened to the rest of the soundtrack, and I hit one song, and there was a very key moment in it where I immediately wanted to jump up, grab my shotgun, and take a fight to a bunch of 8-foot tall aliens. And it's not even a long section, it's just a few piano notes, and that's it. And that's all it takes for me to get excited and want to go out.
Finish the fight.
You know the exact song. And this is another kind of part of the song they use over and over again. That piano roll pops up repeatedly throughout the song. Pretty much anytime they want to start something. That's what they like to use. And then one of my favorite parts about rewatching a movie is that I could ignore the actual action going on the screen. I've seen it, I know it's going to happen, I've heard the dialogue. I can listen to the music a little more. I've been doing that more and more as I get older because that's what I do when I get older. So American Beauty is an absolutely fantastic movie, kind of like Requiem for a Dream. If you've never seen it, I guess not quite like Requiem for a Dream, but it's dark. The ending, I would say, is not happy.
But you can see it more than once.
Yes, absolutely.
Requiem for a Dream, which is...
Yeah, Requiem for a Dream. I've only watched that one once. I've never seen it.
I don't think you should.
I think it's almost...
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's a downer.
Count the rest of the day.
What was it about?
Two guys get into selling drugs. The one guy's mother just gets into ruining her life, and one guy's girlfriend.
It's essentially about drugs.
It's like a
Yeah.
dare.
It's all about everything going
bad as
from
a
wrong
Serbian film.
to more wrong to
A
even
Serbian
worse.
Don't-
really.
Don't watch it, just look it up on Wikipedia.
But
Yeah,
American
it's
Beauty.
probably one of the most goriest movies I've ever seen.
American Beauty is another one of these movies where it's kind of just about a middle-aged man and his hollow life and him trying to refill it again. And I won't spoil anything past that, but it's good. This is another one of these leitmotif things where they use the same just kind of very gentle sound throughout the movie in the same similar way. Like if you listen to the soundtrack, you're not going to hear too much difference between any given song. But you get to the end of the movie, you hear this song again, it's just like, wow. You know what? Actually, it's not so bad. He got what he wanted. He filled up his life. He was happy again. I'm sorry. Yeah, he died. There you go. But the way he dies is something else. There's some twists.
Yeah.
There's some twists in there. Then how about not using music at all? Like horror movies, you're used to stuff like this. Things that give you very obvious cues that something terrible is about to happen.
Psycho.
Yeah, Psycho. Conditioned. He knows it. Like we hear that, it sounds like it's stabbed. By the way, streams sound a lot like streaming.
I want to make a mention about that. I think newer scary movies, they've used that conditioning where they toy with it because a lot of times they'll have the suspenseful music and there's nothing. You anticipate it and you're like something's gonna happen.
But they don't do
anything.
anything.
Yeah.
Amnesia.
Oh, I refuse to play that game.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right? You have
yes.
to open. You don't have a weapon. All you have is a candle you're walking around with, and you have to run away. You have to open doors, and so the music it starts doing that. But then sometimes there's something that's about to kill you, and sometimes there's not. So yeah.
Sounds awful. Also, in all the Hitchcock movies, it doesn't actually show you the person getting killed. It's your mind. Your mind fills in that part. They'll sometimes show shadows, but in all the Hitchcock movies, you don't actually see anyone get killed. It's all in your head.
I never really.
I think at the times too.
For the most part, I think.
So then there are some horror movies, like I've seen The Blair Witch Project, I haven't seen Paranormal Activity, but those are the two that came to mind immediately. They're documentary style, they shouldn't have music, it makes no sense for them to have music, it's supposed to be just people with their cameras. It adds a little realism to it, realism in a horror movie. about finding witches and paranormal activity, but yes. But I find it kind of unsettling to not have any music in my movies. It's the absence of it is almost as scary as having the misleading cues or the expected cues. It's very odd. And then another excellent movie, Space Odyssey. If you've ever seen it, it's boring, but it is classic sci-fi, and it's awesome.
It's amazing.
It's long.
I know, it is long.
It's much
By the end of
less
it,
second time. I really like the director.
It's bad the second time?
No, yeah.
I would believe it. I've only seen it once.
I like
And it was easy music. He uses classical music. He doesn't go out and make his own score, and I'm trying to remember which one's which. Ah, okay. So the Blue Danube. Danube. Okay, I can't pronounce that. The Blue Danube. Kubrick kind of hears this song and he thinks, waltzers, people just kind of dancing around, having a good time. And that's what he sees when he sees the satellites and the spaceships and the space stations all kind of rotating, twisting, coming together. He plays this song the first time as the docking scene starts, very classic. Walking in certain events. So it's all kind of a waltz in space there. It works out really kind of well. And then there's kind of the theme, the second theme anyway. Thus spoke Zarathustra, also spoke Zarathustra, thus spake Zarathustra, whatever you want to call it. Sprach. Thank you. I'm not German, I'm not French, I'm a Michigander, and all I do is pronounce my name. But again, he conditions you with this song because at every time this monolith pops up, they got the monkeys banging on stuff, buttons on skulls. They've discovered tools, they've made the next advancement in intelligence. You can hear that in the songs. Similar to the Arise song I played for you, it's building up, it's realization in music form. And it's cool. He didn't need to make his own score. This, it kind of feels like all this great music already existed. I'm just going to use it the way it is. But he liked it that way.
Tom and Jerry.
The Looney Tunes. Oh, was it? Bugs Bunny and the Alphabet?
Yes.
Looney Tunes did a great job with that. I love that. We've discovered tools, we've used space, we're exploring the galaxy, and it's huge leaps forward for all mankind. Alright. So, finishing up a little bit here, one of my favorite parts about all cultural things, art, music, movies, is that you can do whatever you want to it in an infinite number of ways, but still start from the same location and have it be familiar. We played Adagio for strings way back at the start, and then there's Tiesto's version of it. It's definitely not the saddest song in the world, and rather awesome to dance to and have blasted in your ears in a deafening volume. I love the fact that you can take a song that is the saddest song in the world, change how it's played completely, but still have the same structure to it. And it's just so radically different that you can fist bump to all that long. So on the movie level, you do that with the Pirates of the Caribbean, you get a different mood. I think this is a lot of fun too. You wouldn't put this into your tribute to someone famous who just died. That would be kind of tasteless. Actually, that's true. If Tiesto just died, I would probably put this one. Along with Tiesto, before it happened. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing, but it's not. And I love it. I love how many different ways you can do that. How many of you have ever seen a Miyazaki movie? Spirited Away, Totoro, Princess Mononoke. It's, for those of you who haven't, he's like the Japanese Disney. It's really kind of good for everybody, feel-good movies. So this is the theme song from Totoro. It's like from back in the 80s. It's this really happy kids movie. My family got it for me on VHS when I was like 6. It's cheerful. It's a little cheesy these days. I love it. So then what can you do with that? It's happy children's music. Well, an Italian music producer said, let's get a bunch of metal bands together from all over the world and do this. famous songs from each of the Miyazaki's movies. There's, you know,
That is awesome.
Ponyo being screamed out by a guy. It's a good time. So, I mentioned, all right, oh, one more. Okay, so perhaps the most unpure or pure form, depending on how you look at it, of making something new out of something that already exists is the mashup. The basic idea of this is you take two songs and without actually changing anything about them, you put them together in some way. And there exists an entire mashup album of Disney songs put to various rap artists, Kanye, Lil Wayne, T.I. Also, yeah, the Disney face-offs.
I want to hear this.
Ran into those the other day and couldn't help myself. And also the King. It's a piece of art I've had stewing on my computer for a while. So it's a little silly, it's kind of fun. You got the Touch the Sky sample of Chris Mayfield going with I'll Make a Man Out of You. I love the songs. And the previous 4 minutes of that song was the other way around. It was Kanye rapping over the dum 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 from I'll Make a Man Out of You. And then you have T.I. and Mike. Letters kind of makes sense of I have hundreds of songs in this Disney, all right. Kesha and the Beatles. Horrifying, you can't stop listening. I tried to get Michelle to listen to the Black Eyed Peas with Frank Sinatra, and it was a disaster. So this is me. I love this. I love how weird it can get. The terrible things people come up with. Kesha and the Beatles should not mix ever. It's like oil and water. It's just wrong. So then I said, you know, this works for art too. And so I found a few examples I have that are at least movie related or also music related. And I just, yeah, it boggles my mind that people apply their talents to this stuff. I love that about art and music and culture and movies. People think this stuff is like, how cool would it be if Buzz Lightyear was in Tron? Okay, I'll go make that.
Arrested Development, that is awesome.
I will go do a gorgeous 3D rendering of Buzz Lightyear in Tron.
Yes.
And just a couple of those. Bill Murray as Spider-Man and stuff like that.
That's great.
That's just kind of me talking about movies and soundtracks, and that's what I got for you guys.